Yeah. So how can immigrants make sure that they are not paying like more taxes, and which are the areas like which maybe might not be known to common layman? Like how can you save like taxes or money in like few areas whichever possible?
I think that it's important. Let me begin with the social security we have in Sweden. Uh, we pay, as I said, 31% of the income will be paid by your employer. Your employer could very well be your own company. That's possible, but the employer will have to pay 31% of your salary. Out of that, 10%, 10.25% goes to pensions. And if you have earned such a pension during your stay in Sweden, it will be paid out to you even if you move back to your home country. Sweden will tax it, but it could be, maybe it could be, I couldn't say this for sure right now, but it could be some relief in the double tax treaty. At present, the Swedish tax on such payments of pensions on retirement is 25%. It will be reduced to 20% next year. It's a mandatory pension, and however, I think that many people who have lived in Sweden don't know about this when they go back to their home countries and retire. So you have to apply for that pension. It's very important. Apart from that, most employers pay to private pension. In the industry, for example, the so-called ITP plan is very common, and it's something that the unions have agreed with the Employers Association, and also that pension will be possible to receive after you move back to your home country, if you ever do that. So I think it's very important that if you run a business in Sweden, a profitable business, then you can reduce your taxes by your present taxes can be reduced by paying extra premiums to a private pension. The rules are rather complicated, but if you do it the right way, deductions, and you can and that pension with compound interest over many years, it will be a large sum of money which will pay your retirement, no matter whether you stay in Sweden or if you go back to your home country.
That's definitely good news, I think, for the audience and the viewers who are listening to today's episode. That is why the reason I wanted to talk with you, because you have so much of information which I think it's so hard to find it out. Already Swedish system is so complicated, and on top of that, you don't find this information very easily. Even if you talk to a Swedish accountant, you don't get that information proactively. So you'll have to ask the specific question in order to get the specific answer. So this is amazing, Clas. I mean, such good information. And I also, my next question I want to ask you is that, like, of course, everybody knows there are different types of businesses what you can have in Sweden. So there is Immigrant, there is AB. So what do you think, like, what is your suggestion for people who want to start the business? Should they directly start AB and like go big, or they should start first in Pharma, which is sole proprietorship, and then take it step by step? What is your experience?
I think that sometimes it's easier to just start as a sole entrepreneur, a sole trader, self-employed. But the problem with that is usually that you don't pay enough preliminary tax, and when the final tax is established about half a year after the end of the income year, then you don't have money enough to pay the final tax. In Sweden, you always have to pay preliminary tax. In Britain, they call it pay as you earn, PAYE. I don't know if that's a concept known in India, but you have to pay preliminary tax.
And what is preliminary tax?
Preliminary tax is paid monthly. It's based on the income that you take out, or it's based on what you think that you will take out. So it's when you are employed, the employer will pay preliminary tax for you. It will be deducted on your payslip.
Okay.
But when for example, take the income year 2024, you will get the final tax established in the summertime, usually in 2025. And if you haven't paid enough preliminary tax, or if your employer has not paid enough preliminary tax during 2024, there will be something left to pay. So trader or self-employed, then there is always a risk that you pay too small amount of preliminary tax. And it's easier when you have a company, because when you have a company, you it sounds peculiar, but you are employed by your own company, and that's how the system works. And then you will there will be preliminary tax paid automatically, or almost automatically, every time you take out your monthly salary. So it's easier to keep track of that. And also it's always easier to have your business at one place and your private economy in another area, so to speak, so that you can have them separate. If you have your own, if you're self-employed, there's usually very often a mix of private, non-deductible expenses together with business expenses. It could be it could be difficult to separate the two. So I think it's, in one way, it's easier to have a company.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, even I have recently started, so this is like information, like amazing information, like it makes you think, and also it's good to have information so that you can prepare and you can take steps accordingly and not regret later suddenly when you get this preliminary tax, or like what is it, So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I also wanted to know, like, what is ID 06?
ID 06 comes.
Yes.